Satnam. Hi Astro friends and family. My name is Karine. I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher and also astrologer, and I work on Lada's channel. And today we are going to talk about career and money for 12 signs in 2023. And remember, this is a general reading, so everyone has a different chart. So if you want a specific one for yourself, you can check the link below and you can find the information how to book reading with me. So before we start, just a quick introduction how I read the chart and also how you can use this reading. So I use tropical zodiac and the whole sign house system, and I apply Vedic astrology techniques in all my readings. So please don't use any unequal house system for this reading. Traditionally, people use sidereal zodiac and in Vedic astrology. But Ernst Wilhelm, the teacher that I learned from, if you're interested in astrology, you must have heard of this person. And he stopped using sidereal zodiac for Vedic astrology. I think it's in 2005, because he tests tropical and sidereal for all the Vedic techniques. And tropical trumps every time. So that's why he stopped using sidereal for Vedic astrology, I think at least 10 years ago. So this is where and how I learned from him, and this is also how I'm going to do my readings. And usually I use planetary dristis, like each planet, they have a specific eyesight, and when they shoot the eyesight to different places, that also sends the influence to the houses. But because the topic today is about career and money, so I will only mention the aspect, the dristi that is related to this topic. So not every aspect will be mentioned. So Jupiter will be in Aries from 21st of December and will stay in this sign until 16th of May in 2023. So that means right now, Jupiter is very soon to entering into Aries and will stay there for at least 5 months. And then Jupiter will enter Taurus from 17th of May, and then we will stay there for a year. So until 25th of May 2024. And Saturn will enter in Pisces on 7th of March and will stay there until 13th of February 2026. So almost 3 years time. But in between, Saturn will enter into Aries for a brief time and then will go back to Pisces. So approximately 3 years time. And so this reading is good if you look at from your rising sign as well as your moon sign. In Vedic astrology, apart from the birth chart, they also have this moon chart. So it means that we read everything from the moon's perspective, moon's placements. So your moon signs become your ascendant, your first house. And so you can look at the transits from the moon, and it's called Gochara in Vedic astrology. That's the specific term for that. And you can also, if you like, you can also turn your charts, like your birth chart, and read from your moon placements. Particularly if you're over 50 years old, it's good to look at from your moon chart, because all the planets will be mature during that time. For example, Rahu matures at the age of 42 and Ketu matures at the age of 48. So all the planets and the 2 points, they will be mature. And if you read from your moon, you will also feel more consciously and emotionally connected to the prediction, because moon rules our consciousness and emotions. And this reading, it's not so much about looking at from your sun sign, but if you like listen from your sun sign, you can do that as well. Now, there are several rising signs for next year. They are quite important. They are having a big year next year in 2023. So like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Pisces, and Leo. They all have planets go through their first house, particularly Aries and Taurus. These two signs, they have planets go through their 12th house as well as their first house. So they're having the beginning and also the ending happening at the same time. So this is like big year. Why first house is very important is because when planets transit in the first house, it's the most important transit in life. The first house rules you, your path in life, your identity, who you are. The planets that are transiting through the first house are going to have a profound impact on your growth. And the planets that move through the first house is going to make you who you are, make you become who you're meant to be, and also lay out the path for you. And because the ascendant is always about learning to becoming the best version of you along the path. So when planets move through the first house, each planet will do what it needs to do to help you to become better in your life. For example, different planets, they have different mission. Particularly when planets move through your first house and go retrograde, becomes extremely important. That's why Jupiter and Saturn, when they transit your first house, is always important, because these two planets, they always they go retrograde when they transit in one sign. Venus, Mercury, and Mars, they are fast-moving planets, but when they transit your first house and go retrograde, they become extremely important. Pisces moon, Pisces rising. Saturn will travel through your first house from March and will stay there until February 2026, so almost 3 years' time. And Jupiter will move through your second house from December now, 2022, and will stay there for 5 months until mid-May 2023. And from mid-May, Jupiter will travel through your third house and will stay there for 1 year. So start with Saturn. Saturn transit the first house is a very important transit, because in Vedic astrology, when planets cross the ascendant, cross the first house and goes retrogrades, that makes this planet is extremely important during its transits. And you can refer back to the beginning that I introduced why. But now when it comes to Saturn transit in the first house, the agenda that Saturn is going to bring is time. The lesson you're going to learn is time. Saturn will make you more aware of time, make you more conscious about time. It's more like you be more conscious about time that you have available for you to do the things that you truly love, so you don't waste time. It sounds very vague and very difficult to grasp, is because we don't usually experience, we don't think about time. And when we do think about time, is because we are running out of time, so we experience time on a deeper level. And usually when people have Saturn transit in the first house, they will go into situations where a lot of their time is being taken away by the things they don't even want to do. It could be work, it could be kids, it could be anything, or parents. And somehow they just cannot get away from those burdens, those responsibilities. So the few minutes that they have for themselves becomes extremely important, becomes extremely precious. And through that, they start to realize what's really important in their lives and what are their priorities in life. Then they learn how to use their time productively and do things that really matters to them. And sometimes in a more severe way, you realize that you don't have much time is through sickness. You get ill, and situations make you have more fear for your longevity. You feel like you don't have time, you're running out of time. So that's another way of appreciating the time you have for yourself and using it more productively and wisely. For example, when I had Saturn transit in my first house, I got a job in a media marketing company. It was my first job when I graduated. So lots of details to pay attention to, and lots of meetings, writing marketing plans, communication, doing all the work that the supervisor didn't want to do. And I worked overtime every day and didn't have time for lunch. And I also work on weekends. So basically, if you're working in the marketing field, it's like a super fast-paced industry. And you're literally chased by deadlines after deadlines, and everything needs to be done by the end of the day. But after Saturn transits of 2 years, so up until now, I can be quite confident to say that my time management is very efficient. I have learned to deliver my work under high level stress of time, and also try to schedule everything ahead of the time and use every spare moment to do like really important things in my life. And another example is my partner has applied for master degree. So while he's still working, so it's a 3 years program. And that's also corresponds to how long that Saturn transit, that period of time. So it's very interesting. And so when he So basically, he had a full-time job. And when he's off, he needed to read every day after work. On top of that, he had to prepare his teachings and some administrative tasks. He's a teacher. And every 3 weeks, he needed to write a few thousand words of dissertation. And on top of that, because we are in a relationship, so he needs to give me some attention. So in the first 2 years of that program, the master degree, he was really like in hell, like he was pressured with time, with work, and with writing. And he was struggling with time management. But by the final year of the master degree, the program, it actually happened to be his final dissertation writing. So there was still some stress and pressure, but he actually managed quite well. So I hope these 2 examples can give you some ideas what to expect when Pisces, when you have Saturn transit in the first house. Usually you will experience something that's taken, that your time is taken away. And there will be some kind of heavy duties and responsibilities that take a lot of your time. And some difficult experiences where you feel like your time is being robbed and you feel pressure for time and you only have so much time to do important things. So time management, using time effectively, productively, and also focusing on what's really important in your life is very important. And using the time that you have to do it anyway is the key lesson when Saturn transit in the first house. It's not going to be easy because it will be a lot of work, a lot of pressure, but tremendous growth on your life path. So very important transit for Pisces, because usually Saturn will transit our ascendant 2 or 3 times, especially the 3rd time, we will become very, very old in our 70s or 80s. So it becomes a serious reminder that time is running out. Another thing that you need to pay attention to when Saturn transits the first house is your health, because first house rules our vitality, our body. So you might also notice that you don't have the same energy level, like moving around, being active. So pay attention to your physical health and also your energy level. And you might also feel like you're restricted by your body or your movement. So pay attention to your bones, joints, knees, muscular structure. They might become more sensitive during this time. Overall, Saturn transit in the first house, because it's an angular house, it's not a bad position. It brings delays, challenges, and limitation. But because it's on your first house, you'll feel it quite strongly. And as long as you follow Saturn's rules, like making extra efforts, repeated efforts, perseverance, hard work, and patience, then you will be fine. Success usually will come after this transit, because during the transit, it's a period of effort. Jupiter will transit in your 2nd house from 21st of December and will stay here for 5 months until mid-May in 2023. Jupiter brings expansion, growth, luck, and blessings. And when it comes to the house of money, so Jupiter brings a lot of opportunities to secure and boost your financial situation. It could bring new opportunities for investments, better investment plan, or better interests. And you feel more prosperous, secure. There will be more resources available for you when you need it, like, for example, cash flow, benefactors, people, materials, ingredients, and so on, for you to utilize. And this will help you to approach your goals closer. So financial improvements, investments improvements is possible during this transit. And Jupiter is the higher wisdom, higher mind. It helps you to see bigger picture. It makes you better manage your assets, investments, accumulated wealth, material possessions. And even if there's no big improvement when it comes to your money situation, you will still feel safe and secure with your resources and with your money situation. And 2nd house also rules possessions. You might receive gifts during this time, And you can also spend more money on possessions, valuable goods, valuable items, or invest in something that will bring you more value in the future. For example, gold, silver, antiques, or knowledge, and so on. And Jupiter rules gurus and teachers, advisors. So you could also gain some really good financial advice during this transit, or someone introduce a great investment opportunity to you. Then Jupiter will move through your third house from mid-May 2023 and will stay there for 1 year. Third house is the busiest house. Jupiter gives many in the house that it's in. It brings growth to the things that are related to your third house. So there will be more communication, meetings, emailing, conversations, planning, scheduling, arranging things, more paperwork, administrative tasks, more opportunities to teach or to present your idea, present your presentation, present your knowledge, more trainings, and you will have more work, like responsibilities in those areas as well. Because Saturn transits in the first house is also looking at the third house. So it brings more obstacles, duties, and responsibilities in the third house. And there might be more short distance travels, like travel to neighborhood, travel to neighbor countries, or many road trips. And your schedule will be busier during this transit. When Jupiter transits the third house, it brings benefits to all aspects of business activities like sales, marketing, advertising, public relations, social media, publication. If you're working in those areas, it could go well. But at the same time, because Saturn transit in the first house is also shooting the influence to the third house. So expect some delays in progress. Maybe you're trying to establish some kind of business projects, but it might take longer time and also more challenges to overcome. And if you do want to start your own business, Saturn transit in the first house, shooting the influence to the third house, you may want to move slowly towards that direction. Like think carefully and plan thoroughly. Third house rules teammates, teamwork. So there might be more opportunities to work with others and more team efforts. Okay, so that was a brief review about your career and money in the upcoming year. I wish you a year of abundance, support, love, wisdom, and guidance. And if you need a personal reading, you can find the information in the link below. Thank you.